What's going on, everyone? My name is Tyler, and today is episode 19 of my 32 straight days previewing the 32 NFL teams ahead of the 2020 NFL season. First of all, let me know down below in the comments if you're liking this series thus far. I'm having a great time making these videos for you. Let me know what you think of them. Thank y'all so much for watching so far. If you haven't watched the first 18 episodes, the full playlist is down below in the description, as always. In today's episode, we will be looking at the Los Angeles Rams. After making it to Super Bowl 53 in 2018, where, let's be real, they put on a dud of a performance against the Patriots, losing 13-3, there was a lot of hype surrounding the Rams entering the 2019 season. Many people thought that they would repeat as NFC West champs, and safe to say they did not live up to those expectations, finishing third in the NFC West, missing the playoffs, and going 9-7. This year has me very concerned from the Rams with the lack of the offseason and teams starting to figure out the offensive style that head coach Sean McVay likes to run. I don't see them changing a whole lot, and that's just not going to cut it, I don't think. Teams, like I mentioned, are figuring out this offensive system, which means that Jared Goff has become vulnerable. I don't view him as a top 15 starting quarterback, and I think he's thrived because of the system he's in. But now that teams have started to figure it out, Goff can't do anything else. He looks like how he did in his rookie year, which was a flop of a first overall pick. He had those couple good years once McVay took over, but after that, I don't know where he can go from here. I think Goff has benefited, like I mentioned, he's threw for 50 less yards in 2019 than 2018. He threw for 10 fewer touchdowns and four more interceptions in 2019 than 2018. Just going to show that the system might not, there's something wrong with the system for Goff. The offense around Goff has some question marks as well. The Rams released Todd Gurley, their franchise running back, and although he's been dealing with some very questionable knee injuries, given the lack of what we as fans know about it, they released him. He's now in Atlanta. And now they have a choice of running back between rookie Cam Akers, second-year running back Darrell Henderson, who didn't play much, and Malcolm Brown, who at times filled in for Gurley, but really didn't show much. I think it's going to be Akers as a starting running back. As someone like myself who goes to Syracuse, has watched Akers play for Florida State, I know that he is a really talented back, and I think the Rams will use him for the future. But given the craziness of the offseason, once again, I don't know how much Akers knows the playbook. Training camp, obviously, here we are almost, 19 days into training camp. I don't know where he stands in terms of his progression as a running back and as a rookie in the NFL, given the craziness of everything and given all the restrictions that COVID-19 has put on NFL teams. Personally, I don't think that these three guys combined can play at the level of Gurley, and that's the big issue. How do you fill those shoes? They also got rid of a wide receiver in Brandon Cooks, who, when healthy, was one of the top, I'd say, 25 running backs in all football, top 30. Safe to say there. And that leaves now Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods as their two top wide receivers, which isn't great. I mean, Cooper Kupp looked to be a really good receiver, and same with Robert Woods, but neither of them have really broken out. Kupp, he's hit or miss at best. Woods, he's dealt with some injury issues. Plus, the offensive line is getting up there in age for the Rams, and we saw that last season that had an immense impact on the team's performance on offense. So all those factors is really going to hinder this team going forward. The one bright spot is the defense. They got the best defensive player in all of football in Aaron Donald, and arguably the best corner in all of football in Jalen Ramsey. But those two guys are just a small part of a defense that has a lot of question marks. And the Rams, by the way, they still got to re-sign Jalen Ramsey. Remember, they gave up a massive amount of assets in that trade to Jacksonville for Jalen Ramsey, and they have yet to sign him for a contract extension. And given what we saw a couple years ago when they signed all these guys to these rather large deals like Keith Talib, Marcus Peters, Clay Matthews, etc., none of those guys are on a team anymore because they just didn't have the money to. And if you're going to be paying max dollar to Goff, max dollar to Donald, max dollar to Ramsey, what are you going to do after that? Ramsey's got a lot of power here, though, given what the Rams gave up to get him. Looking at the full Rams schedule for 2020, which will be down below in the description with my win-loss projections, I'm not high on this team at all. I think given the Seahawks and the 49ers look to be even better than they were a year ago, and they were already better than the Rams, as well as the Cardinals look to be much improved with the additions that they made in the offseason, I project the Rams to be the worst team in the NFC West. They start out, they open their new stadium versus the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys will do to the Rams that the Giants did to the Cowboys almost a decade ago. Cowboys opened up AT&T Stadium. Giants, week 1, come in and spoil the opening, winning in Dallas. Dallas will do the same thing. Fortunately for the Rams, there won't be fans there most likely, so they don't have to deal with the humiliation from their fans. Week 2, they go at Philadelphia. That's a tough game across country. They'll play against the Eagles, and I don't see them winning that one. They also go week 3 at Buffalo, so stay on the East Coast, but got to go slightly north. That's another game where the Bills look to be really good on defense and on offense. So can the Rams slow them down? I don't know. And then week 4 versus the Giants, this could be a winnable game for the Rams, but I don't see it happening. I think the Giants, although they're going cross-country to LA to take on the Rams, the Giants got something with all their offensive pieces, if healthy, that can be issues for the Rams defense. I think they get their first win, however, week 5 on the road at Washington, the Washington football team, I should say, not the Washington Blanks, because they've changed their name. I do think they get their first win there. But once again, who really knows? The Washington football team looks to be much improved from a year ago, at least on paper. Week 6 at San Francisco, that's a loss right there. Week 7 versus the Bears, another loss. And then week 8, to close out their first half of the season, they go to Miami to take on the Dolphins, and I think they win that one, which will be a nice momentum booster heading into the bye, although they'll be 2-6 in my opinion. Don't be surprised if the Rams front office looks to make a shakeup. Stan Kroenke has wanted to put a winner on the field. They haven't been able to do so really since the greatest show on turf in the early 2000s, late 90s. I wouldn't be surprised if McVay is on his way out by the bye week if they start off this slowly. And even if he makes it to there, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on his way out by the end of the season. They come out of their bye week. They play a tough stretch of 3 straight weeks. Seattle, Tampa Bay, San Francisco. The Seattle and Niners games will both be at home. Tampa Bay on the road. That's 3 straight losses right there coming out of the bye, dropping them to 2-9. So throwing out all hopes of them being above 500 for the 2020 season. Week 13, they go to Arizona. And here's the thing. I have the Rams losing all their division games except one versus the Cardinals, and that's this one, Week 13 at Arizona. But once again, I really don't know if that's going to be the case. I think this is going to be one of those things where the Rams get lucky. They make one play. Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey shows up on defense, and Goff doesn't look like a bad quarterback and just wins the game for them. Week 14 versus New England. I mean, Bill Belichick is a really strong leader. We know not all the old versus, I guess, the new in McVay versus Belichick. And I think although the Patriots have lost some players opting out of the 2020 season, I think he could, among any coach, can handle these setbacks, if you will. Week 15, they take on the Jets at home. That's their last win, their 4th win of the year, in my opinion, as they close out the season. Week 16 at Seattle, Week 17 versus Arizona. 2 straight losses, finishing at 4-12. A deep disappointment for them, and what many people are probably thinking as the Rams would be a bounce back here. Looking at their schedule, the 5 games I'm most excited for is Week 1 versus the Cowboys. Obviously, that opening of SoFi Stadium against a team which looks to be very, very good. This will be a nice test to see where the Rams stack up for the season. Week 6 at 49ers, a game for the Rams where I don't see them winning at all. I have 0 chance of them winning, but it's a division game. Who knows what can happen there? They're coming back off a road trip. They will be coming back from Washington, coming off their first win of the year, in my opinion. So maybe they can take advantage there, ride that momentum. Week 11 at Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers' offense looks to be really good. The one issue, and it's a question mark, I should say, is their offensive line. Tom Brady, obviously he's not as mobile, or never was really that mobile as a quarterback. If Aaron Donald can get some pressure, the Rams could pull one out here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it were to happen. And then the final 2 matchups, Week 16 at Seattle, Week 17 versus the Cardinals. 2 division games that I think Sean McVay is going to want to win to keep his job as head coach, although I don't think it will happen. And just 2 games where this will determine where the Rams go from here. Are they going to be building for the future with a 4-12 record and going for the draft, or maybe a 5-11, 6-10 record? Be like, okay, this was another setback, but we can bounce back in 2021. But let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. Will the Rams take a step back in 2020, or will they continue to bounce forward in 2020? leave your comments down below in the description. And thank you so much again for watching. I've enjoyed making these videos. I hope you've enjoyed them as well. Next episode, I'll be looking at the Miami Dolphins. Stay tuned for that one. I hope you all enjoyed once again. See you next time. Have a great day.